Something I'd really like to understand, Duncan, is for somebody who's got little or no financial experience, where do they begin with this whole process of financial thinking and financial forecasting?
Well, as a new business, it's very important to understand the importance of having profitable customers, and really the whole word profitability, because business is very much driven by producing sales and ultimately profit. And that's what it's all about. And so an understanding of that and all the things that go behind it is really important for any new start business.
So what are the main considerations for a business owner when they're looking at the way they measure and identify profit within the business?
Well, there are other considerations as well, not least the fact that it's important for the business to understand what their personal survival income is, for example, of really knowing how much profit needs to be made by the business to cover their personal survival income, because it's that will sustain their lifestyle. And so it's really it's not just profit, it's about the relationship of personal survival and profit.
Yeah. I can see how that works. What would the outgoing costs be that a fresh start or a new start business would end up incurring?
Well, of course, any new start business has startup costs and will incur those startup costs of one sort or another. It's important to understand the differences, though, between the different types of expenditure that a business is going to incur. Usually they fall into three areas. So we have capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, and private or personal expenditure. And it's important for the client to understand what they are and really what's involved in those three areas.
And this is something that a lot of people ask about, is are there any levels of financial support or funding for somebody who wants to create a new business for themselves?
Well, a new start business may well be eligible for financial support, and again, they should inquire through the information centre at Business Link what assistance there may be available for their business. However, it's important that if you are going to go for some sort of financial support, you need to think about, is it relevant? A lot of people ask about grants or loans for their business, and it may not be relevant or pertinent for their business to have such. So it's ensuring that if they are going to go for some sort of financial support, it's actually going to help move their business forward and get their business off the ground.
And how is it, Duncan, that a company can actually attempt even to sort of predict what their sales or their turnover is going to be like in not just the coming months, but in future years? How do they get to that process?
Well, some financial forecasts are really, really important, and they're going to help you predict how your business might fare over the coming months and years, as you say. And usually there are two types of forecasts that we would look at. One is what's called a forecasted profit and loss, sometimes referred to as a P&L, which will help show what net profits are forecasted or expected over the coming years, while a cash flow forecast will help look at the movement of cash in and out of your bank account over the months and indeed the years. Remembering the phrase here that turnover is vanity, profit is sanity, but cash flow is reality. And it really is. Cash flow is critically important to a new start business. It's true to say that more businesses go out of business because they run out of cash than anything else. So it's recognising the importance of all of these aspects.
And in terms of taking it to another level with this sort of information, what other support or financial training or maybe financial assistance might there be through the Business Link York and North Yorkshire service?
Well, again, Business Link run a series of workshops, and there is a Fit for Business workshop on financial forecasting, and they can book onto this either directly through the website or through contacting the information centre.